This production has been authorized, vetted, evaluated, and approved for your consumption by Wild LLC. You're welcome.
What's going on?
Hey, what's up?
Welcome back.
It's another
episode 69.
A brand new
of the
episode.
Infinity City podcast. Yeah, brand new episode, brand spanking new. Late night edition.
Yeah.
What's going on, Ralph?
Not much. Another great day, another great episode, another great guest planned.
Indeed.
So before we get started, as always, a couple of things we want to go over.
Yes.
A couple of things we want to remind you of.
Of course.
First off, we have the like button.
That
Hit
button
the like
right there.
button. Let us know
Hit
that
that
you
button.
enjoy exactly what we're doing, because we know that you love us. But I got to tell you, hitting that like button is so important for us. It's just
Super important.
one of the most important things you can do for us.
Yes.
Hit that subscribe button. Nay, smash
that subscribe button.
Listen, if you're in a car riding with your friends, just everybody get together and smash that subscribe button together so you never miss anything
right.
that we do.
That's right.
And then finally, hit that share button.
Share it out there, friends, in your
Absolutely.
car, family, colleagues, strangers on the street,
Yes.
strangers
Tell
in the car.
everybody you can.
Gender danger.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So with that in mind, Sean, we've got a huge show today. We're super excited for our guest.
Super
It's
excited.
a late night edition. We're here
Late night.
9 o'clock,
9 p.m.
9 p.m. hour. So yes. So Sean, why don't you let everybody know who we've got today?
We got someone very special today coming from the High Attention Wrestling Network himself. He's been around everywhere. He's traveling everywhere. He's currently traveling right now, in fact, home from a show. It is the Moonlight Son himself, Mike Skyros.
Hey.
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah, I'm in the back seat of a car driving back home. So, as you said, it's traveling life as always.
Listen, the grind never stops. Wrestling never stops.
Does it?
You're just a traveling, you're just always traveling. Always traveling.
Yeah, that's the thing too. The entire time of wrestling, since I've been able to, and I've gotten enough bookings to, I don't know. I've always been a road dog. I'm always trying to be everywhere. So sometimes to my detriment, but that's what we sign up for.
Do you enjoy traveling? The travel? Do you enjoy the travel?
There are parts of it I like. Like I really enjoy like the camaraderie. I really enjoy like when I have good company. We actually get to go to a town, like grab a bite to eat, check out like a cool store or something instead of just like in and out of the building.
Right.
It grinds on you after a while, especially like late nights driving alone in crappy weather. Like a lot of that sucks, but I think at least for me, the good outweighs the bad. Plus, like we get to do what we love. Like, it's on any level, it's cool to like get, booked to wrestle, and this is what we wanted to do when we were kids. So it's always fun. I try to look at it that way.
Right.
Yeah. Very cool. So
Yeah.
to kind of start off here, we're gonna get the elephant out of the room right away. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna rip the Band-Aid
off.
So we wanted to get your comments on the Wild LLC takeover of High Tension Wrestling that happened at Solar Slam, and did you know any of this was going to happen? Were you totally shocked as everyone else was?
Yeah, so it's tough because I got a lot of that information, obviously second and third hand since the event happened, and it's one of those things where it's like I'm not surprised they would make a power grab. I just didn't think they would do it on this kind of level. I
Right.
know they're always up to something, but this was a shocker for me. And I didn't think that. I honestly didn't think Alex would let that happen. You know, like on
Right.
his watch, I didn't think something like that would have came through.
Mm.
So it's weird. Like I don't really know their intentions. You guys were at the Boiling Point tapings that we had a little while back,
Well,
and
Ralph was.
I was dealing with them. Yeah, I was dealing with them a lot that day, and
Right.
then ever since they've been very like strangely supportive online, but I don't really trust them. So I'm kind of trying to sit back and see where it goes.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
And while we're on the subject, I just want to get your take on this. Obviously, you know, now owning the company, Ethan Wilde's getting a shot at the HTW Network TV Championship. What do you think his chances are? I mean,
Right.
you know, he's technically the owner now, so I'm sure, you know, he could pull some shenanigans. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, he's got all the he's got all the power with the company. He's got the numbers game, so I think his chances are pretty good, to be honest.
Speaking of high tension
Like
wrestling,
I'm like he'd have to slip banana peel real bad to mess that up.
right. But speaking of
Well-
the high tension wrestling championship, you held it. I believe the longest reign at 715 days.
Mhm.
So, what does
Sure
holding that
was.
record and becoming sort of the face of high tension wrestling mean to you?
It was cool. Like High Tension put a lot of trust in me. They put me in a lot of different situations. Like if you really look at the people I was in matches against, I was in matches with people like all kinds of different styles. I won it in like an 8-person like chaotic like scramble match. I wrestled Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. I wrestled Akira. I wrestled all kinds of people at Smash Master, Lucky 13, Sean Carr, Sean Smith. Like they put me up against pretty much every type of wrestler I could be put up against, and
Right.
really getting to fly the flag for that brand and like help them grow. And as they really started like doing their own thing and being like the figurehead of that, it was really cool. It's a responsibility that I don't take. Like I feel confident in my ability to do, and I think if you look back at how I represented High Tension, the types of matches I had, and like just straight up like the effort I put into like promoting, shooting promos, doing it, everything. Like I really think I set the bar real high for that championship.
Oh, absolutely. For sure.
Yeah.
So you mentioned there wrestling all different types of styles. You know, what would you for the uninitiated, how would you describe your wrestling style?
It's tough because like a lot of people say, you know, I really wrestle, so I try to wrestle like them. It's like a blend of like a bunch of people I like. Like, you know, some of my favorite wrestlers. I mentioned Ron Simmons a lot. I mentioned Hayabusa, guys like Minoru Suzuki, guys like Kurt Angle. Like, take a little bit from all those guys in my style. Like, even guys like recently, my roommate is really into Antonioki, so we watch a lot of like 70s and 80s New Japan, all Japan too. Like I can go like a huge. It's kind of below my influence, like really fighting a one person. I'm trying to like kind of make my own style. So if those names resonate with you and it's like the type of wrestling you enjoy, you'll find some of that in what I do.
Sure.
Right. Absolutely. And so where did you get your start in high tension wrestling? Like, where did that all begin for you?
It was a series of during lockdown, I had a friend in wrestling that is no longer in wrestling, and he linked me up with Alex, who got me onto a promotion called Camp Leapfrog that was shooting a lot during that time. So I got in with Camp Leapfrog. If you don't know what happened with Camp Leapfrog happened, it kind of, you know, the ship sank, but out of that rose High Tension. And I didn't really, that's another thing too about being put in, like, being given the opportunity to be like the figurehead of High Tension and being given like that title match. I didn't really see that coming. like I was kind of surprised I was in the title match at all because, in my opinion at least, I was just another dude on the roster. Like I just had confidence in like what I could do and what I could bring to the table, but I didn't know they viewed me like that. So when I got the chance to run with the ball and they're like, okay, like this guy's serious, this guy's gonna put in work to like really represent like what High Tension is doing. I think both of us like gained like a huge like mutual respect for each other, and we just took off from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So,
Yeah.
kind of turning the clock back a little bit here, starting at the beginning, how did you get started in professional wrestling? How did you become a pro wrestler? Nope. I think we may have lost him.
We may have.
All right. Well, in the meantime, we're going to see if we can get Mike Skyros back here. In the meantime,
Are we back?
Hey,
I hear you.
We hear you.
I hear you. Yes.
You are back.
All right. We good?
Yes,
Oh,
we're good.
Okay.
All right.
So the way I got started is I love professional wrestling just like everyone else. It's something that always connected with me. And at a certain point, like all my friends kind of like grew out of it and I still loved it. I'm like, you know, I've always wanted to like, I always wondered what it was like to be in the ring. So I wanted to give it like a real shot to see what I could make out of it. And they had a little link on the site for rest of an hour from my house. So I just signed it out, and like the second I stepped foot in between the ropes, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give like all my effort and really try to make something of this. And that was in 2012, and I've been there ever since, and everything just branched off of that.
Yeah, so you've been in it for probably like what, close to 11, 12 years now.
Yeah, I started training in 2012, and then I just passed my decade since my first match in April of this year.
Wow,
Very cool.
that's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's very cool. So, how did you come up with the moniker, the Moonlight Son, for Mike Skyros?
See, that's the cool part. Yeah, I didn't come up with it at all. So I was wrestling for a promotion called XWA in Rhode Island, and there's a guy that has helped me tremendously, who works behind the scenes. His name is Jose Garcia. He wrestled as Jose Perez, and because I wear a mouth guard with fangs on it, and I wear like I got a little like My Chemical Romance deal I wear out, and like he always thought like I look like a vampire. So on the poster, I don't know where he got it, but he put like the Moonlight Son versus whoever it was at the time, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I kind of like how it sounds. Like, you mind if I steal that? And he said, yeah. So I stole it, and I've used it ever since. And
Nice.
he always laughs. He's like, one of the days I'm coming for my cut of all your merch. I'm like, I'm ready.
I'm ready for that right there.
Oh, that's great. So who were some of your favorites growing up?
Growing up is crazy because like it's a little different than the wrestling I enjoy now. Like Jeff Hardy was my guy growing up. Him, Undertaker.
Yep.
Kurt Angle is still one of my guys. Rey Mysterio. I'm but like Stone Cold I really enjoyed because he was running around as like GM. I just always enjoyed like his antics. Yeah, those are most of my guys right there. And then like that time period I really like latched onto too, as like I continued being a fan and continued learning more about wrestling.
Right. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You had mentioned it earlier on that you faced, such crazy names, and you mentioned Minoru Suzuki. What was that experience like for you, and what would you say that was one of your biggest challenges so far?
Oh, for sure. It's definitely the most high profile match I've had. And it was strange because I got the news obviously before everyone else, and I had to hold on to that for like a good month and a half, and I didn't tell anybody. Like it was burning a hole in my soul. And then like once they released the news on April Fool's Day, so everyone thought it was a joke.
Oh,
like, they
no.
thought they were being pranked. Put the poster. And when I first saw that it was happening, it was like it was in print. For a while, I didn't know how to react because it was not something that was on my radar of being even possible.
Right.
Because it's not the type of guy that usually shows up to our area to wrestle is usually like, you know, a legend or you know, from like the '90s WWF or
Right.
maybe really those are a lot of the guys that came. International talent is not international talent in like the vein of a Suzuki. So it was cool, man. He's someone I have a lot of respect for. He's someone whose style, like, I truly like. I appreciate. I watched his Pancrase stuff. I watched his New Japan stuff, his Noah stuff. Like,
Mhm.
he's legit, and I won't pull back the curtain too much, but it was such a positive experience, and the way he treated me as a peer made it even more so. So I couldn't have asked for more out of that, and to be able to go in there, like, go step for step with someone that I admire so much as a professional, and
Mhm.
to have like their respect after the match, it was cool. Like, I couldn't have asked for more.
Right.
So in working a match like that, is it very complicated? Is there much of like a communication barrier? Because I always wonder, you know, like when some of the stars from over there come over, and sometimes there can be language barriers. So what was that kind of like?
So I did my due diligence to like watch a ton of his recent matches, especially like his independent stuff, and
Right.
I knew what to expect. Like, I knew the type of things he would, or obviously like his famous stuff, like his famous moves, everyone knows.
Mhm.
But it was one of those things where it's like, you've probably heard this a bunch, but it's true, and I've learned this more the more I've worked with people that have like a language barrier or whatever. If you're good, like, wrestling's a universal language. Like, if you know what
Right.
you're doing in there,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be able to really communicate with someone that strongly to be able to go in there and, uh, you know, snatch a hold, to like find an
Mhm.
opening and throw a little chop, throw a forearm, throw a punch in there. So, um, I want to credit like the fact that I watched film, and the
Mhm.
fact that all the people I've been in the ring with that, like, you know, really tested me and really helped me become better, and my trainers to like put me in a position to like really succeed in that match.
Right.
That's awesome.
That is pretty
Yeah.
cool. So who else have you thought that have been some of your favorite matches to share with the to people to share that you've shared the ring with?
Yeah, in terms of like names people might know, I beat Matt Cardona last year for the
Nice.
Excite Heavyweight Championship. Yeah. It was like a little over a year ago. I've been in the ring with some interesting people, like I wrestled Nikolai Volkov a couple of years ago, like
Wow. That's
past,
a
like he was in
huge name.
it was wild too, because like, you know, he was almost 80 at the time, but you know, he's still pretty
Wow.
big dude, like,
Mhm.
you know, he sang the national anthem, all that, like, it was cool. Dude had huge hands. Like, I know he was a boxer back in the day, but like when he threw the punch, like, even at his age, like, he brought some serious power with it. So that was cool.
Right.
Tracy Williams is one I liked a lot, just because I like that type of like technical wrestling and all that. So he
Right.
was really cool to be able to get in there with. Um, I've had a few matches I've really enjoyed this year. Like, I wrestled when I wrestled Don Freeze in his first match. I love that match. Like, that match, like, was especially like his first match ever. Like, he went out there and killed it. Like, that was really fun. Um, there's a guy named Dave Coles that came out of our school.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was like his second or third match I had, and that was incredible. Like, he really brought it to me, like, in a way that, you know, I hadn't really been attacked before in wrestling. That was
Right.
cool. Like,
Mhm.
it's one I think people should really check out, because he's different, and like, he's really good. I'm sure there's more names that are float through my head. Like, I wrestled Primo and Epico Cologne for Immortal Championship Wrestling.
Oh, nice.
Myself and my
Nice.
tag team Stone. That's cool. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like, I'm getting to rub shoulders with like a lot of really cool, like, different people.
Mm.
Absolutely.
So in that
Yeah.
same vein, is there someone maybe on your radar that you haven't faced yet, but you you know, maybe are really looking forward to facing someday?
Oh man, there's a ton. Like,
All right. Well, we are. This is a
this
very
is the
interesting
perks,
show.
guys, of driving on the road. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. It's a very interesting show we're having today here. I had some technical difficulties at the beginning.
Listen, this is live, fellas.
Mr.
We do it.
Skyros is having some technical
We do it live,
difficulties.
no matter what, no matter where, no matter how.
This is what happens when you have a podcast under the Moonlight Son.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully we'll get Mike back shortly. In the meantime, all right. Well, we're gonna see if we can get him back. In the meantime, Sean, so how are things going?
Things are going well. All right, like I said, I was just at the wrestling show that I mentioned the other day. Off there, had a lot of fun there. It was a free show on the boardwalk. We had a blast. So,
hey,
now
we
have
back?
Mr. Mike. Mr. Mike.
yeah, we got you back.
Okay. Well, I'm still here too. I want to mention to your audience, these guys have been so patient with me. This has been such a crazy day, and obviously I'm doing this to the car and everything's cutting out. So, please props to our fine host here for being patient with me. To answer your question, guys, I'd like to get in the ring with. I don't know if it cut out, but I mentioned I wrestled Eddie Edwards too.
Nice.
Back in June, that was a really cool experience. He's someone that's always been real cool to me, like treated me like a peer, and he's absolutely the man. So shout out to Eddie Edwards. People I'd like to wrestle. I mentioned I tweeted him and he tweeted me back. He's from the same lineage I am. Like we're all Kowalski guys. He's someone, and I just his wrestling, bro. Like, dude, I don't know if you guys watched any of the AEW event that was today, but
Oh yeah,
Nigel
I
McGuinness
watched
is
it.
someone like, dude, he's one of my favorites, and I know it's such an outside shot. And I highly doubt he'd be interested in doing anything independent like that. But if I could get in the ring
Hey,
with
listen,
Nigel McGuinness, that'd be
never know.
incredible.
You never know, man.
I met him years ago, and he was one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. And I think he really has. I think he really has an interest in the independent scene. When I met him, he was in between, major companies, and he was trying to start an indie company of his own at the time. So,
Right.
You never know. It's good to have lofty goals like that. Because that's a great name to talk about.
And another name that just came back too at that event, Daniel Garcia. He's someone I wrestled him at the Grapplers Anonymous school where he was trained. We did a little taping. It's out there. But I really love wrestling different people. He gets so much crap from people online with their opinions about him and what he brings to the table. And I've been in the ring with a lot of really good wrestlers, especially on the independent level. And he's one of like the 4 or 5 best people I've ever been in the ring with. I think he's excellent. And I would really love the chance to like, see where I rank up against him now with the work I've put in since and the work he's put in since.
Right. Absolutely.
So I wanted to mention this because we do have one of our more recent regular viewers has been joining us on our shows, and he has a little question for you. He said, "What would you say to someone like me who is starting wrestling school on Tuesday? What advice would you give?"
And so, just give it a real shot. Like this is going to be a lot of like, basic stuff that you've heard before, but I think it's very true. Be patient. Like, don't expect to be a superstar tomorrow, and just show up ready to work hard. Listen to your trainers. Like, if you're at a good school, like, trust their ability to lead you right. I've been filled like throughout my wrestling journey with so many doubts, like so many times where I think like I'm either not getting this right or I'm not being led down the right path, or is it going to work out if I keep doing things this way? And like just working hard and being patient and listening carried me through so much. So that's like very generic advice that you've heard before, but it's what's carried me through. Just like keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Right.
Very cool.
Couldn't have said it better. Now,
Yeah.
We ask all of our guests this because we're curious, like where everyone falls in like the date category. So, what is your earliest memory of wrestling?
Oh man, my earliest memory of wrestling. I remember being in like elementary school and kids coming in with like Steve Austin and Rock like T-shirts and like backpacks and stuff. Super vaguely, and then actually not too long after that.
All right. Well, that's a cliffhanger. So
yes,
definitely stay tuned to find out.
Stay tuned to find out more about that.
Answer. Yes.
Why don't we, while we're waiting for him to come back on, why don't you give him a quick teaser of things that have happened and that are things to come real quick?
Okay.
For our listeners.
Sure. So head over to our YouTube channel. Make sure you're checking everything out there because you want to see some content we just did. Now, last Sunday, we had our exclusive interview with Alex Watt, former owner of High Tension Wrestling, just days removed from Solar Slam and the issues there. So you're going to want to check that interview out. Great interview with Alex. Definitely some interesting things to say about Wild LLC. Some interesting things to say about High Tension Wrestling, his top 5 things that he'll miss as owner of High Tension Wrestling, but just a great conversation overall. Great to learn a little bit about the history of High Tension Wrestling, Alex's history in professional wrestling. So definitely want to check that out. And one other thing that you want to check out is the second half of that question.
This is one of the wildest interviews I've done just because of this, so I love it.
I'm sure.
So this is very specific, but back in the day, I got this PlayStation 1 demo disc, and on it was WWF Warzone. And if you know WWF Warzone, you know, one, the gameplay is awful.
Yes.
The gameplay is trash.
Absolutely.
But the interviews they shot, the promos they put in that game are wild. Like, I saw like the Ahmed Johnson ones, the Mankind ones, even like Steve Austin like screaming at you is like super intense.
Yes.
And I was a little kid. Like I know who Steve Austin is. I know The Rock, like the Undertaker, but I'm like, what is going on here? Like this is wild. Legitimately can't understand what this dude Ahmed Johnson is screaming about. Like it was interesting. So that was like super early wrestling memory from back in the day. Some of those interviews freaked me out too, being like 6 years old. I wasn't ready for an Ahmed Johnson or a Mankind interview.
Right. Yeah. That game was known just for the promos himself. Like that's why I think I used to love playing Monday Nitro or Thunder because they had those promos where if you went to each screen, each star had their own promo, and I loved them.
There is a YouTube video out there that has collected all of the Nitro, like all the little promos from that, and it's so crazy to watch. Like it's just amazing.
Oh my god, those are classic. I need to go back and play those games because I've played them as a super young kid, but like it's vague. I want to like retouch it.
Right.
So right around that time they had it was WCW versus the World, and I just remember there was this was like one of the largest collection of like wrestlers in a game at that point, and there were just people that you had no idea who they were. I think they just made them up, like some of the like from all the different places in the world. But again, it's what we had, but the gameplay was so terrible. When the SmackDown series finally came out, that kind of fixed that a little bit, which was nice. Yeah. But I just remember the days of grinding, like my friends and I just grinding through. We used to set up our own cards on WCW versus the World, and it was so terrible. It was. Now that I think back to it and what we have now, it was so bad.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the more recent live wrestling shows you've been to, shows that you've been a part of. Do you have maybe like a favorite show you've been a part of, or something that particularly stands out in your mind?
Yeah, honestly, last night I was on a show for Legacy is Timeless Wrestling in Waterbury, Connecticut, And
Right.
I watched a good chunk of that card, which is good. A lot of times I don't get the chance to like step out and like actually see the show for whatever reason, but
Right.
they had a really good card. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ryan Clancy. I had a match I really liked. He's one of my favorite opponents. Don Freeze and Corey were on the show tagging as Frozen Solid. They had a crazy like 4-way tag match, which was awesome. Like
Nice.
I sat right behind, watch that. It was cool as hell. There was a show I was on for Smash Master Wrestling where I wrestled Darius Carter earlier this month. I'm really proud of that match. I mean, if you guys know Darius, you know how he is, and he's someone like I really want to put myself against for a while.
So
that was cool. Yeah. And then out of my area, One Up Wrestling, we had, in my opinion, our best card yet. Don Freeze on the card, Corey Jackson's on the card, David Cole's on the card, like, and then a lot of our best like local dudes like To Infinity and Beyond are on the card, like guys.
All right.
Gross.
Well,
This is a roller coaster
listen.
of an episode with you guys. Hope you guys listening audio form are enjoying this. This guy is just rocking this car ride all the way back to Syracuse.
Absolutely.
Well, I love it.
But so, what are some goals you have for the rest of 2020 that you would still like to accomplish?
All right.
No, he's on mute.
Oh,
are we back?
Yeah, we're
here.
back. Hey.
Yeah. So goals for the rest of 2024. The dude, I want to keep testing myself because, like as I mentioned earlier, I wrestled Eddie Edwards, I wrestled Suzuki, I wrestled Darius, I wrestled the Colognes. What I want to do is I want to make sure that I don't. It's really hard. It's a lot of professional pressure to like have a bunch of big matches like that in a row because I don't want to fall off. Like I don't want to go into like a valley. I want to keep everything at a peak and I want to keep climbing. So I really just want to like do what I can to put myself in the position to wrestle like the best people that are out there and build my stock. One professional goal I've had for a long time, as silly as it may sound, is I want to be in the PWI 500, and I think this year. So if I can make it onto that list, like that's for me. I'd really like to set up some seats to wrestle in different parts of the country. Like I love what's going on in the South right now. Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, like there's a lot of really good.
Oh yeah, really good wrestling in.
I want to throw myself into the mix there. Like there's, and it's just different too. Cause like I'm very fortunate. The Northeast is a hotbed, and like there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. But it's all like I want to wrestle in front of new audiences. Like I want to see what that's all about. I don't want to just stick to one area.
Right.
Yeah, it's a big country and there's a lot of stuff going on out there. So definitely getting out there and seeing some of the other, hotbeds would be a really cool thing.
Yeah.
All right. So when you're not busy in the ring, when you're not busy in car rides talking to people on your phone, what kind of things does Mike Skyros like to do outside of the ring?
Man, I'm trying to make a lot of time to like get out of my house, to not be on the TV or on like the PlayStation or anything like that. Like I go to a lot of music shows. That's kind of been my thing the last like 2 years. Like really making time to go see like bands I enjoy. I've been going to a lot of I've been getting into hockey. Not as much NHL. Like I really want to get caught up on the NHL, but we have an AHL team, the Syracuse Crunch. And I've really been trying to go to more of their games, and I'm enjoying it. I really undervalued hockey as like a live sport like experience. So those games is so much fun, and like just getting to watch guys that are really good hockey players. Like the gap between them and the NHL like really isn't that big, but people don't make it for one reason or another, and I get the chance to see them right in my town. So that's always really cool. And I like supporting a lot of like I've flown the flag for Syracuse in terms of wrestling and stuff for quite a
Right.
while. So really trying to like support other things going on in the community.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite shows that you've been to, bands, artists, music wise?
Yeah, so I saw I'm trying to go to more shows by myself too, which is nice. Like
Nice.
if anyone out there goes to concerts regularly, like there's a certain freedom that comes with just going and like not like being tethered to a friend, just kind of going
Right.
like being free and expressing yourself, especially if you're in a new city like the Continent's on. So I saw and Poppy opened up for them, and that show was incredible. I'm really happy I went to that. I went a few years ago. I went and saw Metallica for like the third
Nice.
time. I saw them at I saw them at Lincoln Financial where they had WrestleMania, where the Eagles play, and I was 6
Right.
feet away from the stage. Like that was
Oh
incredible.
man.
I saw
That's
Guns N' Roses
amazing.
with my dad last year. That was really cool. Axl Rose sounded really bad, but like no, it was just awesome to see them. They played for
Yeah.
like 3 hours and they started on time. Like it was beautiful. I'm going to see Drain and Knocked Loose later this year, so I'm really hyped for that.
Nice.
I've got to see either of them, so I'm just really trying to make it out to shows. Like I got to go to WrestleMania for the first time this year too. That was an incredible
Nice.
experience.
Nice.
Getting to see that up close. Shout out one of the guys from training, Chris, hooked me up with a ticket because someone bailed on him, and because of that dude, I got to go see WrestleMania. So that was a really awesome experience.
Was it
That's
night one,
super cool.
night two, or was it both?
Both.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where
It was
where
awesome. Like
where were your seats?
first night we had really good seats, so we were directly across from the stage in like the first level of like mezzanine seating.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then night two we were kind of up there a little bit. We were up in like it was a little drafty up there, but I didn't care. It was such a good show, especially that main event. Like I had a blast,
Yeah.
and like a lot of my friends were there too, so it was really cool.
Yeah, my wife and I got club level seats. We were in the end zone, so the video screen was like to the right of us, and we were looking directly at the stage
Yeah.
from where we were sitting. So yeah, it was
Sounds so
It was
cool.
just such an atmosphere. Like you never know. Like I've been to WrestleMania before. I was at 20 in
Yep.
Madison Square Garden, and then I was at 25 in Texas, and like
Yes.
this one was just different though. The outside energy, the atmosphere, like Philly brought it. They really did.
It was cinema.
Yes. Yes.
You're right.
Cinema.
It was.
Absolutely. If there's one thing that WWE has been doing right recently is making cinema, not just wrestling.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
The wife and I were at a concert just this past Friday night. We went and saw Creed, Three Doors Down, and Finger 11.
Oh yeah, I'm jealous. I would have loved to have been at that show.
Yeah, it was great. Everybody was so good. I like Three Doors Down. Like I'm a huge fan of theirs, and Creed was just off the charts. Like it is a performance. It is an experience. It's more than just hearing them play all these songs. Like it's hard to describe. It was really, they were really good for how long, because this was the 25th anniversary of their 1999 concert summer concert series, because they went on tour with Three Doors Down in 99, so they were doing like a 25th anniversary of it, and they were just as good as they were back then. Really cool.
That's awesome. I'm like I said, I'm very jealous that I couldn't have been there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah,
What's a-
go ahead.
No, I just had a thought. What's a band that you have not seen that you maybe dead or alive that you would have liked to see?
Oh man, I would have really loved to see Zeppelin. Like I have like the House live album. is one that's like I go through. I just listen to straight through every so often. I would have loved to have seen them like in their heyday.
Yeah.
My dad was spoiled. Like my parents got to see like all these great rock bands like way back in the day. For like for the price too. They're like $10. Now you pay an arm and a leg for a concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, some bands I would like to see that are still like around. I'd really like to see Deftones.
Yeah.
I really like Slipknot and Killswitch Engage at our local like amphitheater, but I don't like amphitheater venues for the most part. Like I like to be in GA, like right up on the stage. Like I like to be like in there, and I don't know. I'd like another shot. Like I'd like to see them like either closer, or, like a different venue or something, and then I'd really like to see. They don't tour over here very often, but Nightwish is one of my favorite bands. I would love to catch them anywhere. That'd be really cool.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So this is a question that we ask everyone that's on the show. We think it's a great way to kind of end the interview portion and segue into the main event section. But what does pro wrestling mean to you, and what is the impact that it's had on your life?
Oh man, I'm gonna start with the second part first. Like the impact on my life is immeasurable. So often, like I sit back and I think, like, man, what have I got myself into with this wrestling stuff? How would my life have shaped up differently without it? But I've met so many incredible people through wrestling. I've gotten to have so many cool experiences and like really done a lot of fulfilling stuff. Met a lot of people that I admire personally and professionally through wrestling that I would have never met in that context otherwise. And I'm not I haven't been on TV. I haven't done like a lot of international work, but I still consider myself very fortunate to do the things I've done. It's like, in terms of what pro wrestling means to me, like in my opinion, it's such like a strong art form that people don't give credit to. Like pro wrestling is art, and people kind of dismiss it and they talk down on it, but pro wrestling can be anything. Like the rabbit hole is so deep on it, like, and there truly is something for everybody. Like if you're a person that likes the type of wrestling like good Japanese wrestling where it's it's treated like a sport, that's out there for you. If you're someone that likes people doing all sorts of spectacular moves and like incredible stunts, like there's certain like super athletic like independents out there, or even like high level lucha there for you. If you want like like tradition and kind of like soap opera, like there's WWE, and there's everything in between. And it's funny, like I fully understand that wrestling isn't for everybody, and I fully understand like if you look at it plainly how ridiculous it is. But it's most people, if they really give it a chance and they go see a show like live that's good wrestling, I really think that they'll find something they enjoy out of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I feel like for me at least, going to like these local shows and going to like the smaller shows, it's more intimate to where you can interact with the wrestlers. You can yell at them and they can yell back at you, and vice versa. Like you become a part of the show. And that's something that I truly enjoy about going like to all these smaller venues and smaller shows, where you really get to be like part of the action.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, great answer. A very astute way to put what pro wrestling means.
Absolutely.
Just a great answer. So with that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into our main event top 5. We're very excited about that. And
super excited.
We'll be right back. right.
And we are back. I don't know if he is back, but
Hey.
you're gonna have to wait for him.
That's correct. All right.
This
so,
has been the most cliffhanger-ish episode I think we've ever had, and I think that's
Um,
hilarious.
yeah. I will say this. There has been technical issues about what is happening. All right. I think we have Mike back. Let's bring him in. Hello
There we go.
What's up?
What's up?
What's going on, buddy? Hey, good to see you again.
made it just in time for the top 5.
Yeah, look at that. Like right on time. All right, so Sean, what are we discussing this week, buddy?
Top 5 superheroes, and I'm super excited for this one because I'm a big Marvel buff, I'm a big DC buff, I'm a big superhero buff, so I'm very curious to see what this Moonlight Son guy has to say about superheroes.
Ooh, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
You have a very superhero-ish nickname, the Moonlight Son.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Like I told you, I can't take any credit for it, but it definitely works.
Right.
Listen, everything is eventually stolen somehow in wrestling. So,
100%.
all right. So go ahead and start off your top 5 here. We're excited.
So I'm gonna start straight from the top. It probably isn't surprising to anyone that really like pays attention to what I'm doing, but Moon Knight's my number 1.
Yeah,
That's been my guy for
That's right.
Yes.
I love the show. I need to
show
read
was
more
so good.
comics. Like I read the Jeff Lemire run, and I've read like little bits and pieces from everything else. Like his comic backstory is kind of all over the place. But he's just someone like I was introduced to him through if you guys ever played Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which
Yes.
were like
Mhm.
were great games.
Fantastic game.
Yeah, and he was an unlockable character in the Xbox version.
Yes.
And I was like, I'd never heard of him. Like, who is this? But like, I thought his aesthetic was so cool. And then he was a really good character in that game too. Like he was really OP. So like, I latched onto him at that point. But once I dove into the character and learned more about him, like, especially like once I read the Lemire run, like that was it for me. Like, I really thought like this is a character. Like they try to simplify him, like like he's Marvel Batman, but like there's so much.
I don't know if I would call him Marvel Batman.
Well, I mean, I understand the comparison a little bit. I mean, I was so excited when they announced the Moon Knight TV show because he was like one of the characters I was super interested in seeing in
right.
Like the Marvel MCU sort of universe somewhere because he's got such a great like mythos to him.
Yeah.
He used to be a huge part of he was in a lot of the Marvel team ups when they did the Marvel team up series. And he was just such a cool character.
Yeah, and I love seeing. I wish there was more of like the actual fight scenes, but I love where in the show you saw him go from the one character to the next, and then not realizing what he did as the other character.
Yeah,
I just wish that there were maybe a little bit more fight scenes in that rather than like just showing the aftermath of each thing, like where you just see the blood in his hands. It's like, oh, what happened? What did I do?
Yeah,
but yeah,
very,
overall it was a great show, though. Great show.
Yeah, very very cool character. All right, what else you got for us?
Number 2, if you look at any of my entrance masks, I like Venom a lot. Like it kind of branches off with Spider-Man. I always like Spider-Man too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Venom is like I gotta dive more into it. Yeah.
That mask you wore that one show was just awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. I got that off a dude off of Etsy in Mexico. So I got that and I got a Carnage one. So
nice.
they really have been they've been good to me. But yeah, Venom, I really want to dive more into the comics on him. Like I obviously anyone my age like knows him from the Spider-Man TV show.
Of course.
So that's really where I got to know the character. But like again, like any like the video game stuff, that's where I really like was introduced to the character like a little more in depth. especially like the really off PlayStation. Those are incredible.
Yeah, absolutely right. Now here's a little
Yeah.
hot take question for you.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I think you know where this is going, Ralph. Were you a fan of the Spider-Man 3 version of Venom?
Oh.
I thought it different movie where they didn't try to shoehorn like 9,000 things in. I think it would have been received better.
Right.
Like, it really wasn't bad. I just think it needed more screen time for itself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Tom Hardy one nails it. Especially
I think Tom Hardy's
one.
version is fantastic. Yeah.
The dynamic between Venom and Rock, like the conversations they have, it's just it's so great, so good.
Yeah, it's incredible.
All right, so we got Moon Knight and Venom. What else we got?
All right, number 3. I'm gonna go with my guy. I just saw his most recent movie, Wolverine. Like,
Yeah.
I think any guy that's like like me, like kind of a damn, someone almost cut us off.
Uh-oh.
Oh God.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Like, that character has been through so much. Like, he's been in so many like tough situations, but he's always like toughed it out. Like, and just there's something endearing about that Wolverine character. Maybe it's Hugh Jackman. Maybe it's just
It's probably Hugh Jackman.
plot, like, but even in the comics, like, just Wolverine has been through so much crap, and I think everyone can go. And the fact that he's kind of miserable kind of makes him more relatable.
Yeah, he's never seems to be a very happy character. I've not only ever seen him smile once.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of happiness in Wolverine. And as much as I thought Logan was a great movie, and obviously they planned on that sort of being the end of the character until they decided, well, everybody loves this character. But I really thought the Wolverine was his best on-screen performance so far. That's when he goes back to Japan, and
Bro.
I thought that movie was really well done. Oh, you're on mute.
You're on mute. There
There
you
we
go. You're
go.
I'm biased, but like, maybe it's just because like I enjoyed like the peak scenes were really good in that X-Men Origins movie. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. The Deadpool stuff is terrible. Like, they
Right.
really botched Deadpool.
Yes.
That movie is cool. Scenes like those are crazy. Like those are like peak Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go back and rewatch it because I just remember not liking it, but I think it was probably only because they muted the Merc with the mouth, and I was pissed off that they did the opposite of what you should do with someone who has a mouth and you mute them. I was like, why would you do that? And I was pissed about that. But I think maybe I'll give it a second chance and give it a rewatch and see if it's, other than that part, if it's actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a heavy hitter like Wolverine. You got 2 choices left. Who else is on your list?
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a basic answer, but like, Batman's another one of my dudes. Like, I always like Batman. Like, and the Batman the Animated Series was so good, and then
Classic.
they followed that right up to Batman Beyond, which was incredible. Like,
Yes.
I don't know, he's just a dude. Like, his TV series and his movies have always been awesome, and like, people give him crap all the time. He's just a rich boy with parent issues and all this stuff. Like, Batman rules, dude. I don't care how much plot armor he has. Like, he's cool. He has excellent villains. Like, he always has something cool going on, and like his stories that like are really cool to sink your teeth into. And then like way later on, like all those Arkham games are incredible.
Those are some of the best
obsessed
games.
with the Arkhamverse.
Incredible. Yeah.
So good.
And then
I'm obsessed with it.
even like the newest one with Pattinson was awesome. Like, dude, they hit home runs with that character like every single time.
Right. Well, except for one, and I'm pretty sure we all know the one.
Which one?
Batman and Robin.
Oh, well,
See,
I mean, I think
I was a little kid when that movie came out. I liked that movie, but I was also like 6. So what did I know about anything?
Right.
Yeah.
Batman is a great choice. There's so many avenues to go down with it. Like you said, there's just so many things to consume between TVs and movies and the Arkhamverse games, and they always find a way to tell great stories with him. And I mean, the villains in Batman, you don't get villains like that anywhere else.
No, you really don't.
There's a definite feel to it. So two heavy hitters in a row.
Yes.
You got your last choice here. Who's gonna round out your list?
Yeah, I could go a couple like I'm gonna go with my honorable mentions. Like my honorable mentions could probably be like Punisher's cool. I like Red Hood.
Oh yes, good one.
It's cool. I gotta get more into like I gotta read more of like all these guys' books because I don't read enough books. But
Never enough time in the day.
I gotta go with like an OG X-Men. I always thought pun intended. I always thought Bobby Drake, Iceman was cool.
All right.
He's
cool.
super underrated. Like plus like he's a super like powerful mutant too, and he didn't get like a ton of like action in any of the X-Men movies, but like in the comics, always an awesome character. Man, really like when they flesh into like his backstory and stuff, especially like stuff to do with like I thought it was really cool and brave, like when they went into like his sexuality and stuff. Like I thought that was a really like cool step to go. And like I don't know, he's the Iceman. Like he again, Marvel Ultimate Alliance really shaped a lot of my opinions on this.
Right.
Like he was sliding on ice everywhere. Like you froze everyone, beat him down. Like that really like solidified my opinion on him because I liked him from the comics when I read like X-Men comics, but then once I got into the game, like sold.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I always felt the same way about Alex Summers, Havoc. I always felt like he was a very underrated character that just didn't get enough credit and enough he kind of was overshadowed by his brother, but still one of my favorite characters. Now here's a question for you, because you did mention about seeing Deadpool and Wolverine, and I feel like enough time has passed that we can talk about this. I mean,
yes.
If you haven't seen it by now,
if not,
what are you doing?
This is a spoiler.
Yes. So did you the major cameo scene with Elektra and the Wesley Snipes Blade and Gambit? Who did you freak out for more when you saw those?
The Gambit one was close, but the Wesley Snipes Blade I did not see coming at all. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was sick.
Like those movies were so cool. Like I remember watching them like right when they came out. Like everyone remembers the nightclub scene and all that, but like Wesley, like Blade really kicked that thing off. So to see him like get to be like in that Deadpool movie in the way he was, that was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I just loved how he goes to Deadpool, I never liked you, and Ryan goes, you never did. because Wesley said in interviews that when they filmed Blade 3, him and Ryan did not get along during the filming. He was not a fan of Ryan. So when Ryan called him up to ask him to be in this movie, he was like, absolutely, like, sure, like, yes, like, like, no questions asked. Like, I think he said it in an interview, if Ryan calls, you pick up the phone. Like, there's no, no.
Yeah, for me, I freaked out at Gambit because honestly, if I was picking a favorite X-Men Gambit was always my favorite. I don't know what it was. I just thought he was the coolest guy. So I was kind of
yeah.
Kind of freaking out about Gambit. All right. Well, that was a great top five.
Fantastic top five.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Some heavy hitters, some interesting characters. Love it. So before we get out of here, we always do a little upcoming events.
Yeah.
That's our very ominous Wild LLC supported video for upcoming events.
I gave him the quick one up, like, "Hey, hold it, don't speak."
Dylan Mesh particularly enjoys that video. But,
yes, he
so
greatly
I know
that.
I know you're in the car, so this might be tough, maybe not having information in front of you. But do you have anything coming up that you would like to highlight, promote?
Yes. So on both. Well, I'll start with this one. So, next Sunday, September 1st, I'll be at Pro Wrestling Grind defending my Pro Wrestling Grind championship at RPM Metal Fest, which is going to be sweet. This is our third year in a row there. They've been awesome hosts for us. The people at the fest really come out, give us a lot of positive energy. They're real rowdy. I love it. So I got that. I have coming up, I'm defending my tag team championships at Immortal Championship Wrestling. We've had myself and my tag partner Adam Stone have had a really big year there. We've had cage matches, we've had street fights, we've wrestled WWE tag team champions, the Colognes.
Nice.
We've had a really big year, so we're trying to keep that momentum rolling. We're facing the heavyweight champion and his tag partner, so a lot of championship implications on the line for that. 921, I'm at One Up Wrestling. I mentioned them earlier. They're a company that I've really I've always, since the company I started in 2CW ended, I always wanted something local that we could put energy into and try to make it as good as we can. And guys like myself, Freeze, Corey Jackson, Ting Shi, Dave Coles, we're all working hard to make this a big thing. So those guys have been killing it on the card. So check us out, look us up on socials. Little spoiler, they're going to announce it this week, but wrestling Colin Delaney, which is someone I respect a ton.
Nice.
He got the up on me the last time we wrestled, though, so I'm trying to even that up.
Right, of course.
Then catch me at more high tension wrestling events. I'm really looking forward to getting there and seeing Bushi at Voodoo Brewing Company. They've always been great hosts to us, so I'm really excited to get back there. I missed the last one there, so I'm really excited to be back for that. And then I got a couple things coming up. I can't announce quite yet, but I have a cool booking in Pennsylvania that I've been wanting to follow up on this year. So
nice.
Green light, but I think some people you guys have had before, you'll really enjoy the matchup.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Hell
and
yeah.
Of course, people can follow you on socials at Mike Skyros to get all the information about all your upcoming bookings. They get to see all that when those things finally get announced. They'll see them on your socials.
Yeah.
So make sure you are following for that. Well, this has been most definitely
quite
an
the interesting interview.
Episode. Sean, we have a couple things coming up that we can highlight.
We do. Let's spew that out there.
So hop over, as we mentioned earlier, hop over to the YouTube channel and check out our latest interviews. We have Alex formerly from High Tension Wrestling. We just did last Sunday. Last night, our most recent Wrestling with Life came out with Vinny from Vinny's Barbershop, which was a great time. Tomorrow night, you can catch Parma Sean and special guest host Kenny P joining the show again to help us chill with the OC and watch some Monday Night Raw.
Absolutely.
And there may be a special announcement tomorrow night, so check that out. Then on Friday, we got chilling with a bro, one bro, two bros, many bros, who knows how many bros.
Maybe some bros. Maybe one
sombreros,
bro.
we don't know.
Who knows?
We don't know. There's plenty of stuff going on Friday nights, so someone will be there for you to chill with and watch Friday Night SmackDown. And then please be sure to check to join us next Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern as we are talking to one of one.
The one of one.
Right. We go 2-on-1, 2-on-2, 2-on-1 with one of one.
Yes.
We met Chris at Comrades for Vlad, and he stormed the set as we were doing interviews.
Pretty much.
Just jumped right in, and we were like, you know what? We want to talk to this dude, so we're going to have him next week. Well, you are currently riding in a car with some friends.
Yes.
Yes, and who are you riding with? Let's shout them out.
Yeah. And right before I do, once again, I mentioned it earlier. Everyone watching, shout out to Sean and Ralph for being so patient. This took a lot of moving pieces to put together, and as you saw throughout the interview, my phone service was actively working against us. So thank you again for making this as easy as it could have been given the scenario. And again, I'm riding with Don the Freeze and threaded icon Corey Jackson, one half of Black and Yellow. And these are two dudes I ride with all the time. These are two dudes that are really branching out and doing things for themselves. So please, like, if you're a wrestling fan, go look them up. You'll enjoy them.
So
yes, indeed.
You can check out episode 49, which featured Don the Freeze, which was a great episode. So make sure you check that out. And
absolutely,
we've not had the pleasure of talking to Corey Jackson yet, but I'm sure that will be coming down the line at some point.
Yes.
We're always excited to talk to up and coming amazing talent. So we appreciate everything that you've done to get yourself on the show here and continually be a part of the show. We've been super excited about this interview. We've been trying to make this happen for a while, and we're just we will have you on again when we can do something a little more stable internet wise. But dude, we just absolutely appreciate your time tonight, and it was great getting to talk to you. And we'll catch up with you soon. You want to hang on just a moment? We'll be with you. We're gonna wrap things up here.
All right, thank you.
All right. That was definitely our most interesting interview.
Interesting interview. Again, episode 69 in the books. I think a part of it had to do with the number. Who knows? I don't know.
Who knows? But it was a lot of fun. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button,
subscribe,
please.
Comments.
The most important thing we can do that you can do to help us out is to follow our guests. We say this every time. That's our most important thing. Follow the guests. Make sure that you are following all those guys, not just Mike, but follow Don, follow Corey,
everyone. Follow them all.
Follow everybody in that car.
Everyone.
We hope we wish them a safe journey home. I know being out on the road is tough, as they said. They almost got cut off there. So it's always an interesting thing traveling. But we thank them for their time. We thank Mike for doing everything he could to be as much a part of this episode. It's been a lot of fun. And so with that, Sean, I think we're ready to wrap up another episode. It's been fun. He's Parma Sean. I'm King Ralph. For all the guys in the car, this has been Opinion City, and we will see you guys next time.
On behalf of Wild LLC, this has been the Opinion City Podcast. It has been your pleasure.
Happy trails till we meet again.